First of all, I want to thank absolutely everybody that came here, that came last night, that has brought food, that's prayed through this whole entire ordeal, through the whole entire 9 yards of it all. I mean, it's the prayers and the calls and the texts, the hugs, everything is what's gotten us through this, because with the good Lord, we couldn't have got through this. This is absolutely one of the most difficult things that my family's ever been through. We thought the cancer was bad. The cancer was nothing compared to this. But through it all, we have to look at what blessings comes out of it. Michael had a purpose. God has a plan. God always has a plan. His plan is not what we want, but we have to do what he wants. Amen. And he put Michael on this earth, and we've loved him. He's loved other people. He's done, he's absolutely the most selfless person that I know. He was caring. He loved life. He loved his life. He loved having the people in his life. They meant a lot to him. And in the end, God's plan was for Michael to give somebody else life. Michael, you know, he donated his organs and his kidneys, so somebody else, his prayers was answered because of my brother. Michael was born August the 21st, 1980. He was the birthday present to William. He was born on William's second birthday. William loved that. Michael's name was named by using my mom and dad's middle name together, creating his middle name, Joe Dale. My mom's name was Anita Joe, and dad's is Marvin Dale. So, Joe Dale. He was a huge mama's boy and knew how to get his way. Trust me. But I don't think my mama minded it too much. Growing up, me, Michael, and William, it was inseparable. Me and William suffered a whole lot of whippings because of him. A lot of whippings because of him. He always seemed to find the trouble. Example, they tell us, was at my grandparents', they tell us, don't go to that branch, because you're gonna get on a snake. Of course, that's exactly where we was headed. We would never have gotten caught if Michael hadn't have tripped and got all wet in the water. We went to our Uncle Willie's house one time. They tell us, don't go back there in the back because there's a piece of a well, the water well is laying on the ground. What does my brother do? He thinks he's going to go sit in it, but he sits in it with his knees up to his chest and gets stuck. He had to get out rescued with a sledgehammer to buzz the well out to get him out. Guess what? We got a whipping. Our favorite game, was cow patty baseball. Yes, I know it's gross, but we're country kids. Well, I was the pitcher that day. Michael was up to bat. Well, when he turned his head, he wasn't looking. I switched the hard patty out for a good, hot, fresh one. I went to pitch it, and about that time, he went to yell, "No!" Right in his mouth it went. After he got finished throwing up the last 3 months of food, he told on me, and I got a whooping. But it was worth it. It was so worth it to see his face. He went to school at Evans and graduated in the year 2000. The smartest person that I know. He was so smart. Always smiling with them huge dimples and those bright blue eyes. Amelia McCaskill Brister shared a story with me. She said in high school, he would always give her rides to and from school in his purple Skittle car. If you knew him, you remember the purple Skittle. It was a little bright purple neon car that had big, huge fuzzy dice hanging from the mirror. Well, she said that he gave her to school in that purple Skittle, listening to the most awful Christian rap on the radio. And when she decided to go to college, he went with her to tour the LC campus. In church youth group, he wore the loudest suits and made everybody laugh. Every time I would spill a drop of gas on the ground, I could hear him say, "Well, there went 25 cents. And I had the honor to call him my friend, and I am so blessed to have known him." That was from Amelia. Our cousin Cecily shared a little story. Michael always stayed mad at her. Why? Because she made him say his bedtime prayers. She made him pray. He didn't like it. She made him. He actually liked it. He loved it. It was a game between them two, and he liked it. He never lacked for friends and was always willing to help someone in need. I could write pages upon pages of stories about Michael and how he had a huge heart for others. His quirky and extra personality always had us laughing and always kept things fun. One story that comes to mind is about Eddie and Michael. Mom had this big birdhouse. It was a Martin house that she wanted to take down. It was rotten. And it was way up there. So they had a bright idea of backing the truck up to it and shaking the pole until it fell down. Well, it fell down all right, and all the bees that was in it come down too. After that was all said and done, they both looked like Mickey Mouse with their big, huge ears from the bees sting. Their ears just fell out. Eddie said he turned around and Michael was gone. Later came my kids. His heart and soul fell in love with his nieces and nephews and grew even more with the grandbabies. They were his babies. All they had to do was ask, and it was theirs. He would say, "Lordy, you gonna make me have to work the streets to pay for this?" But it was already purchased before he even said it. Price never mattered to him. And family trips, let me just tell you about the family trips. Getting in the car would go something like this. "Please sit down and buckle your seatbelts. Keep all arms and legs and body parts inside the vehicle at all times." Then you would have snacks being thrown at you to keep you quiet while he was driving. And he would say, "Hope you enjoy the ride." We did. We always enjoyed the ride. It was really fun. We would come home that day sore from laughing so hard because he was, as he called himself, the fun uncle. He loved his uncle and nephew trips with Benjamin. Their last trip was made 1 week before this nightmare began. They went and spent a whole day in Galveston, a day of relaxation that was both needed. Michael loved the beaches. His trips was always to a beach. No matter where he was going to a beach. He loved putting his feet in the sand. He loved the ocean. He just loved it. That was his happy place. Michael had a heart of gold. Holidays was always a blast because he would always go above and beyond to make sure everyone he loved was treated with the love that they deserved. His everything was always extra, but that's what made it fun. Every holiday he loved to cook. His special ham that he cooked, his salt and cracked pepper rolls, and his homemade mac and cheese. That actually have more cheese than mac, because he loved his cheese. Oh, let's not forget his not for kids pecan pie. That sucker would make a drunk man drunk. And if he couldn't be there to cook, he gave Mama specific instructions on how to cook it, just the way he wanted it. My brother could cook. Mom would always say, Michael, go cook me some of your scrambled eggs. And he would go in there and he would cook them for her. She loved his scrambled eggs, and he would always make sure Dad was fed whenever Mom was sick or she wasn't there or something. He made sure Dad had food to eat. He was always putting everyone before himself. He always made me feel like I was the best sister in the world, and to him I was. He loved me unconditionally. He made sure I had everything I needed when I went through the cancer. Now I know just how scared he probably was too. Getting back to how huge his heart was and how selfless he was, Michael started working for Miss Daisy Holmes in 2016. She fell in love with him and with his compassionate heart that he had for his clients. Michael always made sure his clients was cared for and all their needs was taken care of. He moved his way up to manager and had his own crew of workers that had their clients. Every day Michael would receive a package in the mail, and it would be gifts for his workers, always going above and beyond. His best friend, or as they say, his office husband and wife, was everything to him. He loved you, Cassandra. And Miss Daisy, he loved you too with all his heart. At holidays, Michael always made sure his clients had food, gifts, and family, so that they would never be alone. There were several times that Joey, he's right back there in the back. Joey was special to Michael. Amen. Joey was Michael's client. Amen. And he's right back there, y'all. He's just as sweet as he could be. Yes. There were several times when Joey spent Christmas and Thanksgiving with us. And he was like our family too. He loved his job and he loved the office people so much. He thought of them as his own family. He was my dad's little boy, his pride and his joy. He made my dad so proud of the man that he had become. He couldn't have asked for a better son. My mama's baby, her little boy too. He was spoiled. Mom would go to his room and knock on the door and he would say, yes. And she would say, maid service. She would be sitting in her chair and he would come through to go outside. And she would put her pretend knockers on like she was watching him going outside. And he would stop and he would look at her and he goes, you are so special. Bitsy, our little sister, little Wiggles, he called her. That was my dad's little dog. Got lovings too. And cookies from him, and he even went every week and got her Popeye's chicken. She was special to him. I could go on forever with pages and pages of lifetimes of stories, but I think the greatest one of all would be the one that showed us just how big of a heart and just how giving he really was. He made sure whenever he passed from this life that he would give the biggest gift of them all. He was an organ donor. What a great way to end your life by continuing to give to others. Acts 20:35 says, it is more blessed to give than to receive. Michael was honored at Rapides Regional with a donor flag that flew high and the honor walk on the way to the OR room. And his face and his name will be etched on the wall of heroes over there. How proud I am of my little brother. Michael has this saying on his wall at work. Life isn't measured by the number of breaths that we take, but by the moments that take our breath away.